Greetings, Capricorn and Capricorn rising. This is your Western forecast for January 2025. If you had watched my yearly forecast for Capricorn, I talked about the paradigm shift, the 4 outer planets all changing signs, an extremely rare event. So there's a lot of unsettled energies, but wants to start looking more promising by next July, August. But with that said, there was still another very important planetary transition that I wanted to wait till January to bring into the mix, because it was kind of overwhelming to break down all these 4 outer planets changing signs and how it's impacting you and the world. So the 5th planetary transition is the karmic north node that changes signs every year and a half. And it begins in January 2025. The karmic north node, it will be in Pisces. The karmic north node amplifies all the themes of Pisces. Pisces is empathetic, it's caring, it's creative, it's charitable, it's healing, and it's going to be transiting your 11th house of groups. It's also organizations, could look to your long-range future, but you could be getting more involved with attracting friends or getting involved with a group, an organization that is more spiritually inclined. But more on that later, but still going to talk about Venus in Pisces joining the karmic north node in January. And that's some really beautiful energies, creative, romantic. But if you've been watching my videos, I always start with, where is the new moon? Because the new moon, once a month, wherever the new moon falls in the chart is where your attention, your priorities in general is being more directed. This new moon is in Capricorn on December the 30th. Now that new moon in Capricorn will impact you for all of January. When the new moon is in your sign, or even your rising sign, it's the beginning of a whole yearly new cycle. So for Capricorns, it's your new birthday cycle. And one of the things, if you've ever had a reading from me or other astrologers, is we do a separate horoscope called the solar return chart, where all the planets are on your birthday. And it's like the main chart, except it's just for describing those 12 months. So it helps focus and clarify, all this other energies that are going on. Now, the new moon is on December the 30th. If your birthday, maybe the 29th, definitely the 30th and the 31st, when your birthday is on a new moon, which is about every 19 years or so, then it indicates a really significant new path, new opportunity that wants to come through. Now, before I break all that down, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. Now, having this Capricorn in the 1st house, so if your birthday's around the 30th, 31st, yes, there's a significant new path. In fact, it was just days I wasn't even predicting it or expecting it. But when I was in my 20s, I had a new moon on my birthday, and at that point, I was an astrology student. I've been studying all the different parts, but I never did a reading for anybody. I never did a practice reading. I hadn't put anything together yet. And my teacher said, oh, we haven't really talked about solar return charts, and your birthday's on a new moon. And so she was telling me this significant new path was going to open up for me. And several days later, an old working associate calls me up and says that they want an astrology reading out of the blue. And I said, I don't do astrology readings yet. And she said, get over here, come to my place. I want a reading. And then she introduced me to, it just all began suddenly. It's like this dam just burst with all new beginnings. So that was my story. But for all Capricorns and Capricorn rising, just having the sun shining in Capricorn for up until January the 19th, there's a real emphasis on new beginnings, new visibilities, getting out there, starting new projects. Now, on January the 19th, the sun leaves Capricorn and goes into Aquarius for 4 weeks. When the sun in Aquarius is now drawing your attention to financial matters, to your personal income, your cash flow. Now, that is not the dominant theme the last week of January. The dominant theme continues with the new moon in Capricorn of launching, beginning major new projects. You're going to start thinking about the cash flow and how to monetize it and make monies at the end of January. But the next new moon at the beginning of February, or going into February in Aquarius, then February, there's more of an emphasis on your cash flow. But January, it's all this emphasis on new beginnings and visibility. Now, Mars is retrograde, and Mars, which I talked about in my December forecast, my yearly forecast, Mars is the aggressive, warrior, impatient, courageous planet. It goes retrograde once every 2 years. It went retrograde on December the 6th in Leo. And as it's retrograding and moving backwards, on January the 6th, right now, it's retrograding back into Cancer, which it will be in your 7th house of marriage, partnerships, contracts, whether it's personal or impersonal, important relationships. But the Mars being, when it's in the 7th, there could be a lot of disputes and impatientness, jumping to conclusions. With the retrograde, it could be causing you to be more frustrated, more irritated with maybe negotiating contracts, being a mediator, or being really irritated, frustrated by close relationships. February the 23rd, the Mars goes direct in your 7th until April the 17th. So now when Mars goes direct, it's released all that pent-up hostility, frustrations. Come the end of February, now you're more motivated, more clarity, more focus, but now you're really going after to achieve your goals of 7th house. Well, that could be finally deciding to be more assertive with your personal relationship. But this could also, Capricorn is very business-minded on some level. And this could be now really asserting yourself to increase your customer base, your clientele base. That could be the 7th house. Or you could start to, by the end of February through the middle of April, really asserting yourself to form a partnership, or you could be really busy working with a partnership. Now, the new moon is on December the 30th. All new beginnings. You could certainly be thinking about going into the new year, what something new and fresh and different you'd like to achieve. Those are your thoughts, December the 30th. 2 weeks later, it's the full moon on January the 13th. The full moon kind of reveals what's working and not working from what you were planning with the new moon. But this full moon on January the 13th will be in Cancer, in your 7th house of relationships. And it's going to be very close to Mars in retrograde in Cancer. So maybe the 12th, certainly the 13th, the 14th, for the whole world, but for Capricorns, this disruptive, irritable, angry, full moon, because of the Mars alignment, is in that 7th house of relationships. But maybe it wants to clear the air, have a big blowout and start fresh again. That's the Mars. Now, you might be feeling more impatient, irritable with partnerships, with clients, or the lack of clients, that January the 6th till February the 23rd. But then the Mars goes direct, and you're feeling more focused, more confident, more driven from a personal relationship to, attracting more professional relationships or a partnership. Now, the karmic North Node in Pisces in the 11th, that could be the spiritual groups. You could be attracting more spiritual friendships. Venus is the planet of love, creativity, harmony. Venus is going to be in Pisces. Venus is in Pisces once a year, because Venus goes through all the signs every 12 months. Venus gives its best results when it's in Pisces. Pisces is the exalted sign for Venus. That could really awaken this tremendous appreciation for the arts, really expressing yourself creatively, romantically. Now, the karmic North Node amplifies wherever it's transiting and any planet it's triggering. So it's beginning a 1.5-year cycle of amplifying the 11th house. But January, it's amplifying an amplified Venus. Venus, love, creativity, the 11th house, friendships. This could be making a best new friend. This could be really expanding your social network, doing a lot of social networking. That could be part of all these new beginnings. There could be an important celebratory event, whether it's your birthday party or you're involved with friends to celebrate. To have this party of friendships, that's the 11th house. But this could also be a very romantic time. And you could, with Mars in the 7th house of relationships, that North Node in the 11th of friendships, it even could be through friends, through networking, that is how you meet somebody new if you're single and looking. Or maybe a friend becomes something more intimate. So I want to thank you for watching. If you like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.